Dank.
Thank you.
Merhaba arkadaşlar. No. Okay. Merhaba arkadaşlar. Hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün Kanada'nın en büyük kolejlerinden Humber College'da sertifika, diploma ve akademik programları Kirill'den dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Yes, Kirill, the stage is yours now.
Thank you, Zeynep. Teşekkürler. Hello, my name is Kirill, and I work at Humber College. So today I'll be talking about studying in Canada, studying at Humber College. So I'll talk about the programs that we have, admission requirements, cost of studying, and all the other details. You can ask your questions in the chat or in the questions box, and then I'll answer your questions at the end of my presentation. So let's start with my presentation. Excuse me. So first, let's go over some of the reasons why students choose to study in Canada. So right now, Canada is one of the most popular study destinations between English-speaking countries. So if you compare Canada to United Kingdom or United States or Australia, Canada right now is one of the most popular destinations to study. And there are several important reasons for that. Studying in Canada is not free of charge. You need to pay, students pay for their tuition. And from that point of view, from the point of investment in your studies, Canada gives you the best returns. So one of the main reasons is that the quality of education in Canada is very high. Majority of institutions, colleges, and universities are public colleges, like we are, and we are funded by Canadian government. And that means that the quality of education is very good because Canadian government can allow to invest a lot of money in education. Canadian diplomas are well recognized. So with Canadian qualification, you can work both in Canada, in US, in Europe, in Turkey, anywhere in the world. Canada offers great employment opportunities. So international students in Canada can work while they study, and they can work on holidays. And also after graduation, you can get a postgraduate work permit and stay and work in Canada up to 3 years. Also, Canada is an open immigration country, so it means that those students who decide to stay and work in Canada, if they enjoy their life in the future, they can apply for permanent residency and stay in Canada permanently. Now, in terms of cost of living and tuition, Canada is also very much affordable. I'll talk about tuition fees and expenses a bit later on, but if you compare studying in Canada and living in Canada to other English-speaking countries, Canada would be the most affordable at the moment. Also, Canada is a very safe country. The crime rates are one of the lowest. Toronto has one of the lowest crime rates in North America. So studying in Canada is very, very safe. So from that point of view, I mean, for the money that you invest in your studies or the money your parents invest in your studies, you get the most returns. High quality education, world-recognized diploma, opportunities to work and stay in Canada, affordable tuition, and safety. Okay, there are many other reasons as well, but these are some of the most popular reasons which make students join Canadian universities and colleges. All right, so our college is based in Toronto, and Toronto is the largest city in Canada, so it's home to almost 3 million people. It's also the fourth largest city in North America. So after New York, Los Angeles, and Mexico City, Toronto is the largest city. And that means that there are a lot of job opportunities. So many Canadian companies, lots of North American companies, they open their head offices in Toronto. So it is very easy to get a job in the field of your study. There are lots of different opportunities for our students and graduates. Also, Toronto is just a nice place to be. It's often listed in a list of most livable cities in the world. So in the top 10, you would always see Toronto. So it's based on quality of living, safety, environment, cultural life, opportunities. So from that point, Toronto is a great place to be and to study and to live. It's also ranked as one of the safest cities in North America, as I said before. So it's a great place with lots of opportunities. All right, let me talk about the kind of programs that we offer at college. Since we are college, we're not university, there are small differences. Now, in Canada, both colleges and universities are public institutions. So both are funded by Canadian government. Both colleges and universities accept students after secondary school. So you need to finish secondary school to join college and university. Now, both colleges and universities offer bachelor's degree. Now, the only difference is that universities get additional funding for science and research. So programs like master's degree or PhD or Bachelor of Science are offered at university. Colleges don't have master's or PhD programs. And in general, colleges are more focused on career education. So when you study at college, you get a lot of opportunities to do your work placement or internship, or in general, gain your experience as you study. So when you study at college, we can make sure that you will not just get theoretical knowledge, you get a lot of opportunities for work placement and getting some experience. So that's what makes college graduates very much employable. Now, at the college level, we accept students after secondary school, and we offer 1-year certificates, 2-year diplomas, 3 years advanced diplomas, or 4-year bachelor's degree. If you already finished your university, or if you are, for instance, in your last year of university, you can do a graduate certificate with us. So instead of master's degree, colleges offer 1 or 2 years graduate certificate programs. These are postgraduate qualifications. There is no research, but they're very much intended for those students who would like to advance their career beyond postgraduate level. Okay, so these are the types of programs that we offer at Humber. Now, why study at Humber? We are one of the oldest colleges. We are over 50 years, and given that Canada is only 150 years old, it's a lot of age. We are a very large college, so we have over 33,000 full-time students. So it's a very big student community, and only about 6,500 of them are international students. We have students from over 130 different nationalities, so we have very multicultural international student community. Also, about 80% of our programs include work placement. And that's one of the reasons why we are number one in terms of employment after 6 months. So about 85% of our graduates get a job within the first 6 months after graduation. And we're also number one in terms of employer satisfaction. So Canadian and international companies or organizations that recruit our graduates are extremely happy with the quality of our teaching. We offer over 200 different programs at Humber. Let me just go through some of the faculties to give you an idea of what we have. So Applied Technology and Engineering is a very large school. We have programs like architecture, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and so on. So lots of different engineering programs. Business Accounting and Management is another very popular faculty. So programs like marketing, accounting, finance, international business, or for instance, supply chain and logistics are very popular. We also have some unique business programs like healthcare management or, for instance, fashion management. We also have Faculty of Health Science and Wellness. So this faculty is not a very big one, but it offers some interesting programs like biotechnology, for instance, or pharmaceutical technician, or traditional Chinese medicine, and so on. Okay. Creative Arts and Design is another very popular faculty. So programs like graphic design, photography, animation, film are there. Children and Youth Care. Now, if you would like to work with little children, work as a kindergarten teacher, for instance, or work with young children, these are the programs for you. We have Community and Social Services, so programs like community development are offered at this faculty. We have media, public relations, and marketing. So this is programs like public relations, marketing communications, advertising, art direction, and so on. Music and performing arts is a faculty where you can study programs like theater arts, theater production, theater performance, or acting for film and television, or maybe music. Hospitality and tourism, it's another big area at Humber and in Canada in general. So if you would like to extend your experience or become a professional in hospitality industry, we have several programs offered there. Information technology, digital technology, so programs like computer programming or computer engineering or, say, game programming are offered there. We also have language training. So if your English is not good enough, if you want to improve your English before you start your program at Humber, you can do it with us as well. And we have legal studies. If you want to work with law, we have programs offered at Humber. Okay. So as you can see, there are lots of different fields. So based on what you would like to study, most likely we have a program for you. So as I mentioned before, we make a big emphasis on giving you opportunities to gain experience. So as you study, you will do at least 1 or 2 work placements. And we have a network of about 4,000 different companies that we work with, where you can go and do your work placement. So this slide shows some of the popular brands or companies where we send our students to do their internships, but the variety is much larger than that. So if you study at Humber, most likely you will gain your experience before you graduate, and majority of our students end up working for the same companies they went to do their internship with. All right, let's talk about bachelor degrees. So as I mentioned before, at college level in Canada, you can do bachelor's degrees, the university level programs. And at Humber, we have about 30 different programs. So there is a big variety of bachelor programs. A lot of them are in the field of business. So programs like accounting, finance, HR, supply chain management. So quite a few business bachelor degrees. We have Bachelor of Child and Youth Care, behavioral science, community development. Few bachelor programs in creative arts and design. So programs like industrial design, interior design are offered on bachelor's level as well. We have bachelors in fashion. We have Bachelor of Nursing. We have new Bachelor of Engineering programs. So we have mechatronics, built environment, IT systems. Several programs like digital communications bachelors or international development. A couple of programs in legal studies. So we have criminal justice and paralegal. Several creative programs like Bachelor of Journalism, Public Relations, or Film and Media Production. And of course, we have Bachelor of Music. So if you finished your high school in Turkey, you can start one of these bachelor programs. Excuse me. Okay, we have about 50 different graduate certificate programs. Now, these programs are very popular with our Turkish students because we have quite a lot of graduate students from Turkey. So if you are studying at university right now, or if you finished your university degree recently, you can start the graduate certificate program at Humber College. Majority of these programs are 1 year in duration, but there are a couple of programs which are 2 years in duration. So for instance, you can see emphasized global business management, business insights and analytics. These 2 programs are 2 years. So global business management is a little bit like MBA qualification. It's a postgraduate qualification in business with a variety of specializations. Business insights and analytics is for someone who wants to work with financial analysis, with big data, somebody who is interested in career in banking or investment, for instance, or just working with analytics. We also have IT solutions, is another 2-year program, which is for someone who would like to extend their IT experience. All of the other programs are 1 year in duration. Since majority of graduate students are interested not just studying in Canada, but also working and gaining some experience. Majority of students are trying to study 2 years, because if you study just 1 year, your postgraduate work visa will be also for 1 year. But if you study 2 years, your postgraduate work visa can be up to 3 years. So students try to study 2 years, so they get longer postgraduate work permit. What you can do is you can always combine 2 one-year programs, so you'll have total of 2 years of study. So for example, if you're a specialist in marketing and advertising, you probably don't want to study IT or analytics. So in your case, you can do 1 year of marketing management, and then maybe you can do 1 year of advertising art direction. So you'll have total of 2 years of study, and you can apply for postgraduate work permit for 2 to 3 years duration. So lots of different options, as you can see. So if you're interested in doing postgraduate certificate qualification in Canada, we can offer some programs for you. Okay, let's talk about admissions. In Canada, academic year starts 3 times a year. So we have fall semester, which starts in September, and all of our programs, they start in September. We also have winter semester, which starts in January. So about 75% of our programs also start in January. And we also have a summer term, which starts in May, which is a very small summer term. About 5% of our programs are starting in summer. Now, at Humber College, we don't have deadlines, but I always recommend to apply at least 9 to 10 months before the program starts. So as early as possible. Because we have limited seats for international students, and these seats are filling up very quickly. So the earlier you apply, the bigger choice of programs you will have. If you apply later, the selection of programs available will be limited. So please apply early is my main message to you. So if you would like to start in September, now February and March is still the best time to apply. Admission is based on 2 main things. The first one is your academic performance. So if you're finishing your high school, it will be your diplôme lycée or your high school certificate. If you're finishing university, it will be your university transcripts. The second document is your English qualification. That would be Ielts certificate. Most of the students usually do Ielts, or for instance, TOEFL, Cambridge, or Duolingo. Right now, we're accepting Duolingo certificates. It's an online English test which you can do. And if you have your Duolingo results, you can also apply. So for diploma programs, which are 2-3 years, the Ielts requirement is 6.0, 5.5 in each section. For bachelor's degree and for postgraduate qualification, Ielts is a bit higher. It's 6.5 overall, and it shouldn't be less than 6 in every section. So your academic performance and your English are the 2 main documents you need to apply. Now, for postgraduate qualification, if you are finishing your university in English language, you don't need to do any test. There are several universities in Turkey which teach in English, like, for instance, Izmir Economics University, or I think it's Istanbul Technical University, and many others. So if you studied your bachelor's degree in English in Turkey, you don't have to worry about Ielts or TOEFL. Application fee is 75 Canadian dollars, but we have a special offer for participants of today's webinar. So if you would like to apply after this webinar, application will be free of charge for you, only if you participated in this webinar. Okay, essay is asking how about co-op durations? Is there any specific duration? Work placement is usually done in the summer between first and second year of studies. Co-op is usually done in the second year. The difference between work placement and co-op is that when you have co-op, you work full-time for 1 full term. So 4 months of your studies, you dedicate it to your work placement. Co-op is always paid, and it's always 9 to 5 kind of job. Work placement is a bit different. It's not compulsory. It doesn't have to be full semester. It's usually only 1 or 2 months, and sometimes it's paid, sometimes it's not paid. That's the main difference between co-op, and work placement. All right, let's talk about the cost of studying. So tuition fees for English program. So if you want to start with English, it's 3,700 for one level, which goes for 2 months. Now, diploma programs, which are 2 or 3 years, they cost about 16,000 Canadian dollars, which is about 12,000 US dollars. Bachelor's degree is about 19,000 Canadian dollars, and graduate certificate is about 1,700, 5,000 Canadian dollars per year. Now, tuition fees are paid by semesters. So, for instance, if your tuition fees is 16,000, you pay 8,000 for the first semester. Then in 6 months, you pay 8,000 for the second semester. So you pay it twice a year. But this is only the cost of your tuition. There are additional expenses. So in terms of additional expenses, the largest probably would be your living expenses. So there are 3 different options for living. First option is a homestay with meals. It costs between 7,000 to 9,000 roughly. Homestay means you live with Canadian host family. You will have your own room, you will have toilet and shower, and meals will be provided for you. So you will have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home. Homestays are outside of campus, so you will have to catch a bus to get to campus. The second option, residence with meal plan. On our campuses, we have residences. So both North Campus and Lakeshore Campus have residence. IGS campus is in the city, it doesn't have residence. So if you study at Lakeshore at North, you can stay on campus residence. Means you can live on campus, and again, meals are provided. This option is a bit more expensive. It's between 9,000 to 12,000 per year. And the third option is rental accommodation. So you can always rent your own room or apartment, but that option doesn't include meals. So it means you will have to do shopping and cook for yourself. So there are also transportation expenses and so on. So your overall budget gets to about between 30 to 35,000 Canadian dollars. Your tuition, your books and supplies, your accommodation, depending on the option, overall budget will be about 30,000 Canadian dollars per year. Again, if you compare it to studying in the same level of college or university in big cities like Toronto, so for instance in New York or in London or Sydney, I'm sure Toronto will beat our competitors in terms of cost of studying and living. We do have limited scholarships. So for diploma programs and for graduate certificate programs, we have 20 scholarships by 2,000. So 20 students can get $2,000 scholarship. Excuse me. For bachelor's degrees, we also have a scholarship, but this scholarship is based on your GPA. GPA is a grade point average. Basically, that's your academic performance in your high school. So if you applied to study bachelor's degree at Humber, we'll be looking at your marks in your high school, and if your GPA was 75% or above, you may qualify for this scholarship. So scholarship is renewable. So if you get, say, $3,000 for your first year of studies based on your high school, if you continue the same GPA at Humber College each year, you will keep getting this $3,000 scholarship. All right. I mentioned already housing option. Let's just go quickly about it again. So you can live on campus. So you can live on residence. You can live off campus. Off campus are either homestay, where you live with Canadian host family, or rental accommodation, where you just rent your own room. So if you're a young student, if you just finished your high school, and it's your first time studying and living overseas, I think on-campus residence or homestay would be the best choice for you. If you're a mature student, if you're already finished your university and more independent, I think a rental option would be best of choice for you. But again, it's up to you. You can choose any of these 3 options. Let's talk about career services. So at Humber College, we pay a lot of attention to making sure that you gain your experience as you study. So by the time you graduate from Humber, you will not just have your diploma in one hand, you will also have your CV with Canadian experience. So you'll have your work placement at this company, completion of project at this company, maybe volunteer experience at another company. And that's what makes you more employable, your diploma and your Canadian experience. So for our students, we organize career fairs. So it's big events where we invite your future employers, where you can meet with your potential employer, talk to them about opportunities they have for students, maybe leave your CV, maybe schedule an interview for the job. We will also prepare you for your job interview. So we will help you put together your CV. We will go through the questions you will be asked at the job interview. We will also organize different networking events at each faculty. We organize events where you can present your projects to your future employers. So for instance, if you're studying something like web design and development, we'll have an event where you present the websites that you've built during your studies, or maybe if you will develop an application, so you can show it to your potential employer. And maybe this is something that will get you an opportunity to do your internship and maybe in the future to secure a job. And that's one of the reasons why we have such a high employer satisfaction rate and student employability. Also, we develop most of our programs in cooperation with your future employers. So what it means is that, for instance, when we work on a curriculum for computer programming, we invite specialists from companies like IBM, Cisco, some other IT companies, and they give us advice on what kind of qualifications they expect from our graduates. So we integrate their recommendations in our curriculum. So we make sure that the course content is adequate for your future employability. So the things you study during your program are relevant for your future employment. Okay, we also make sure that you study well. So some students are worrying if it's difficult to study in Canada. Now we have academic support program. Usually our Turkish students don't have any problems. They study well. But in case you're struggling with your academic performance, you can always come to our colleagues in International Center, and we can connect you with your student body. It's usually someone who already finished your course and can help you with your course, or with academic staff or lecturer. So for instance, if you attended a lecture and you didn't understand the concept, you can always come and we'll help you with this concept. Or if you received your assignment and you don't know how to approach your assignment, again, we will connect you with the student body who will help you to do your assignment. So we have all this academic support. It's just important that if you need help, you just come and ask for assistance early, so we still have time to assist you. Okay, that's about it for my presentation. This is our social media pages, so you can always connect with us and see what's happening at Humber. Some students ask me a lot about what about COVID? Can I go to Canada? Well, right now, Canada is open for international students. So from November last year, any students who received student visa can come to Canada and start their studies. I have Turkish students coming almost every week to start their studies or to continue with their studies. But you can also study online. It's up to you. You can study online from home, or you can come to Canada and study online from Canada. Some of our programs have online delivery. Some programs have mixed delivery, online and in person. So if you're worrying about studying, you don't have to worry. There are a lot of flexibilities, and also your postgraduate work permit will not be affected by the format of studies. So even if you study online, you will still be eligible to get postgraduate work permit and work after you graduate in Canada. All right, let's get to the questions. Alper is asking, thank you for the question. Is it possible to afford your annual expenses by working part-time? It's a good question, Alper. The minimum payment is $15 per hour in Canada. And when you're a student, you can work part-time during your studies. So you can work 20 hours per week during your studies period. and you can work full-time during your holidays period. Now, if you work during study period, 20 hours per week by $15, I think minus taxes, you can make about 1,000 Canadian dollars per month. But I don't think this will be enough to cover your annual expenses. It can cover some of your living expenses. So if you work part-time and if you work full-time during the summer break, you will be able to cover some of your maybe rent, maybe food and transportation, but you will not be able to cover both your tuition and your living expenses. So if you're preparing to study in Canada, you need to have a budget of about $30,000 for at least 1 year of your studies before you apply for your student visa. So when you apply for student visa, Canadian Embassy will ask you to show evidence that you have at least $30,000 for the first year of your studies in Canada. So to answer your questions, working part-time is possible and might cover some of your living expenses, but it will not cover your annual tuition. Okay, guys, I don't see any more questions. If you have questions, you can ask them in the chat.
Hi, Kirill.
Yeah.
So we are having a little bit of error here because of the server we are using, the website. So most of the participants couldn't even log in like 4 minutes ago. And the question sections, I can't see any questions. So it's still loading, but I think you can see some of them.
Yeah, I can only see 2 questions.
So it's starting to getting better. We can wait if you want.
Sure, we can wait for a few more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've sent a message on the chat and it also doesn't show. I think I understand what you mean.
Yes, because too many people are accessing this website at the same time. So we are having this error message right now.
Would it be possible to have a recording for those students who couldn't attend?
Sure. Also, we can make another webinar. We can arrange that for you. And in the meantime, I can see other questions in the chat box.
Sure, yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any more questions loading or nothing comes up in the chat.
Okay, so I will ask. I think you didn't answer this. It's just came now. So Meryem Korkmaz is asking, if we graduated from a university which has 100% English study language, do we have to take an Ielts exam?
No need to do that. So if you finished your university in English language, you don't have to do Ielts or TOEFL. You just need to provide a letter from your university which says that language of instruction was English, and that will be enough.
Okay, so the other question is from Ece Günay, and she's asking, how about co-op durations? Is there any specific duration?
Yes, so if your program has co-op, it's usually 1 full term. 1 full term is 4 months. And you can do your co-op more than once. I think you can do it 2 or 3 times. It's up to you. Excuse me. So it's minimum 4 months, maximum up to you, but usually it's 8 months.
Yes, Kirill, so sorry for the inconvenience. We will postpone the webinar and we will let you know other time. So also I will make an announcement to the participants in Turkish.
Thank you.
Arkadaşlar, teknik bir sorundan ötürü şu anda web siteye girişlerde ve soru kısmında bir sorun yaşıyoruz. Çok fazla kişi yüklendiği için. Webinarımızı başka bir tarihe ertelemeyi planlıyoruz. Ertelendiği zaman sizlere de haber vereceğiz. Bu sırada chat kısmından görebiliyorum ben soruları. Eğer sorularınız varsa Kirill'e sormak istediğiniz chat kısmından yazabilirsiniz. Okay, I just told them to send their questions on the chat box because I can see them on chat box. So yes, I think Mariam is asking if we graduate from postgraduate program of Humber College online.
Yeah.
And plus rest of the question is coming.
Okay.
Okay, can we also take PGWP?
Yes, if you finished your postgraduate program online completely, you're still eligible to apply for your postgraduate work permit. We have this situation with a few students who started with us in September. So they started their graduate certificate in September online, and they'll be finishing at the end of April their full program because it's only 1 year, 2 terms. And all of these students are qualifying for postgraduate work permit. There was an announcement on official Canadian immigration website, I think several weeks ago, which said that the postgraduate work permit will not be affected by online studies.
Hello, there are a few questions. I can see a few questions in questions box. I can read it for you, Kirill, if you cannot see. And I think Zeynep also cannot see that. Furkan says, what are the requirements for postgraduate programs? What is the price range of the programs?
For postgraduate programs, the requirement is for you to finish your bachelor's degree. Okay, so you need to finish your university degree. So you need to provide the transcripts to show that you finish your bachelor's degree, and you need to show your English qualification. So if you finish your bachelor in Turkish, you will need to have IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo test. If you finished your bachelor's in English, you don't need to worry about English test. Also, if you finished your bachelor's degree some time ago, maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago, you will need to show CV to show your experience, what you've done in the past few years. So your university transcripts, your English, and if it was a long time ago, your also CV. In terms of the cost, postgraduate program costs 17,500 Canadian dollars, which is about 30,300 US dollars, or roughly about 97,000 Turkish lira for 1 year.
Thank you. Another question, Necati asks, how is the coronavirus pandemic situation in Canada?
Yes, Canada hasn't been affected very much, but Canadian government is very conservative. So there are still lockdowns in a few places, like in Toronto. And because of the lockdown, we have to have all of our classes online at the moment. But as soon as lockdown is lifted, we will move to partially delivery of practical programs. Because some of our programs, like engineering or technical programs, they require for students to do a lot of different labs or to do classes on campus. So as soon as we lift the Toronto government or Ontario government lifts the lockdown, we will move to on-campus delivery and online delivery. It will be hybrid delivery. In general, Canadian border is open for international students. So if you received your Canadian student visa, you can get on the plane, come to Canada. You will need to spend 14 days in the quarantine hotel. And then after 14 days, you're free to go. So it's up to you. If you want to study online in Canada, you can do that. Or if you prefer to continue your studies online from Turkey, you can do that as well.
Thank you. Another question, is it possible to afford your annual expenses by working part-time? Thanks.
Yeah, I think this is the question from Alper. No, it's not possible to cover all expenses by working part-time. You can work part-time and cover your living expenses, but not your tuition expenses. I don't think it's possible to earn 30,000 per year by part-time work.
Can you see other question of Alper?
Yeah, I think it was the same. It was the same question. Yes.
Yes, it's the same question. I just
I
noticed it.
can see another question in the chat box. It's from Mariam again. And she's asking, is there any possibility to be changed the rules about PGWP if I finish the postgraduate program after I start September 2021 and finished April 2022?
It's a hypothetical question because it will be Canadian government's decision. But for so far, the government chose the policy that will maximize students' possibility to work after they graduate. So the government was making changes to make sure that students don't lose their opportunities and to make sure that students continue to study. So if you are starting with us in September online, I think the chances are that your visa will be allowing you to study, to work after you graduate in Canada. So I don't think it will be affected.
Thank you for your answer. And we are waiting for new questions to come up.
So you can see questions, but I can't see them on the chat, right?
Yes, it's because of the website. So you can see some things and we cannot see.
Okay, no problem.
Alper is saying, sorry, I thought my question wasn't sent, so I just sent it twice.
No problem.
So I can see people are typing. Okay, so Kirill, thank you for your presentation. So sorry for the inconvenience, by the way, because of the technical problem. We will postpone this webinar and we will be contacting you.
Sure, let's do that again.
Okay, so thank you very much again and sorry for the inconvenience.
No problem. Thank you for joining today.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.